good evening, everybody. Kevin Crouch here with South Metro Weather, and we have quite the storm that is a decent distance away to our west, but the trajectory of this storm does have me concerned. It does look like it is taking kind of an easterly track here, and this storm is not slowing down anytime soon. And if you follow that easterly track, that could bring it into parts of our area. In fact, if this storm takes any kind of a right turn at all, that will put it further into our area. So what we have right now across Ellis County, of course, you see these little thunder showers that have been popping up. And I know we've been, we've been hearing, thunder from these things for quite some time. Seems like it's just, we're just hearing nonstop thunder from just the most random little showers. And it's been quite electric around here, in this area. And now we are looking at this storm well to our west. And that storm does have a confirmed, an observed tornado. Okay, now we have a new tornado warning that bumps right up to Johnson County now. So that is including northern Hood County at this point. So this storm, and just to let you know, we're starting at the desk here, but we will go to the green screen and kind of do our usual severe weather coverage once this thing gets a little closer. But man, oh man, you see the new warning there. That new warning until 9:15. So this storm is not moving terribly quickly. Let's take a look at this. Yeah, moving east at 25 miles per hour. So this storm itself is not moving that quickly. It's going to be another hour or so before it's closer to, the Johnson County area. And so that by itself buys us some time, at least in our core counties. But this is the kind of storm that you want to pay attention to without a doubt. Now, if we take a look at this thing on velocity, there's very clear rotation there in that storm. And so, as I say, this is well west of our area. And, this is a storm. This is an absolute unit of a storm here. So if we go out wider here, you can see this is pretty much it as far as what is moving towards our area. You do have a storm in Bridgeport that is headed east towards the Denton area that has a severe thunderstorm warning. But this is really the main storm here. And if this storm continues this due east track, then I would be concerned about southern Tarrant and northern Johnson counties, and eventually later southern Dallas and northern Ellis counties. So we'll have to wait and see what this does. But again, this thing could take a right turn at any time, and if it does, that's going to put it further into our area. We saw that happen with the storm that delayed graduation in Ennis. That storm moved across northern Johnson County, and then about Midlothian started turning to the right and went down 45, down into Navarro County. So that is what we're watching right now. This new storm here, we got a new severe thunderstorm warning here, broadening. Yeah, so it looks like that storm is trying to take a little bit of a right turn there. And you can see that very clearly with the widened mouth the widened end of that polygon, that severe thunderstorm warning polygon that was just issued there. We've got quite the storm here. Quite the storm. And what's interesting is the National Weather Service has not updated their tornado watch. That watch includes, Parker, Hood, and Somervell counties. Does not include Johnson or Tarrant. This thing is getting pretty close to getting out of that watch area. So are they going to extend that watch eastward? I don't know. Are they counting on loss of daytime heating, maybe loss of sunrise to kind of kill this thing? Because I personally do not believe that this thing is going to be stopped anytime soon. Dunnies, you're asking, will Waxahachie get anything or will it miss us? I don't know. It really depends on what we see. This storm, again, if it continues this due east track, that will bring it into parts of really kind of I mean, at this point, it looks like right along the county line. But I mean, looking further than that, it looks to me like we will probably be dealing with this one. Let me kind of move things around here. I apologize for that. Let me adjust this. It looks like this one. I mean, if it takes a right turn at all, any kind of right turn, then there will be, it will continue to move that trajectory farther south. And so, I mean, you can see that they have projected this tornado warning, all the way out to parts of Parker and northern Hood County, right up against Johnson County there. So, Donese, you're asking, what's to be expected worst case scenario? That's not a question I'm going to answer, because we could theorize all night long. I could tell you all the horror stories in the world, but none of that helps anybody. What helps is what's actually going on. What I can tell you is that there is an observed tornado in this storm. What I can't necessarily tell you is... Hold on just a second. Okay, so the National Weather Service has now updated that tornado watch to include Ellis and Johnson, Dallas, and Tarrant counties. So let me show you that. It may take a while to update here. So sometimes these watches take a while to update in Radar Omega, one of the little drawbacks here. But they have extended that tornado watch to include Johnson, Ellis, Dallas, and Tarrant counties. Let me see, just one second here. All right, so that tornado watch will be that will include now Ellis, Johnson, Hill, and Ellis, Johnson, Dallas, and Tarrant counties. So I'm just going to take that off because that's going to take a while to upload. That's going to be confusing. So we might have ourselves a ball game here, folks. The tornado watch, if you have weather call, you probably are getting a text message or an email here pretty soon, letting you know that a watch has been issued. The watches aren't usually quite as quick as the warnings, since it's kind of two different systems. One is a text email kind of thing. One is a phone call. Trust me, the phone call right there. So if you are worried about this storm, now is the time. Now is the time to sign up for Weather Call. So that is a system that is going to call your phone the second a tornado warning or a severe thunderstorm warning is issued. So you want to sign up for Weather Call if you are concerned about this storm moving your way, because you will get a phone call immediately when that's heard. So if there is a tornado warning that threatens your area, if your area is included, then you will be notified of that. So we'll talk about kind of the timing of this storm. You can see the end of this warning area here. That is set up for, let's see, that's until 9:15. So again, this warning is an hour out. So presumably the way they do these things is that this storm will be close to Crescent and Aledo probably around 9 o'clock. So right around 9 o'clock is when I'm expecting it to be moving towards northern Johnson, northwestern Johnson, and southwestern Tarrant counties. So that's what we're looking at right now. Farther than that, it could be another hour before it's, moving towards Mansfield, Midlothian. So that could be closer to 10 o'clock. So that's just kind of what it is looking like. So let me just catch up on here. Marie, no tornado warning for Red Oak right now. There's the tornado warnings are the red boxes. And there's nothing in Red Oak right now. Red Oak has a tornado watch. Very important distinction there. The tornado watch has been extended eastward to accommodate this particular storm. Bailey asking, what's the cap doing? Don't rely on the cap tonight. The cap is not going to slow this thing down. If the cap is even there, it's very weak, and you know this is not going to compete with it. So don't rely on the cap. Just 1 second, folks. Here. Okay, I just put the link in for weather call once again. So that, and it's also in the description there. So if you look in the description, you can find the link for weather call. I put it in the chat as well. But let me see here. I'm trying to get updates on that tornado. Okay. Looks like a fairly, if this is current video, that looks like a fairly decent tornado on the ground with that storm. And it is an observed tornado at this point. So it is observed on the ground. So that is what we're looking at for this particular storm. And I mean, you can see that wall, that hook echo clear as day. I mean, my goodness, this thing is just not slowing down and is about to move into southern Parker County, northern Hood County. So that's what we're seeing here, is this particular storm that is, you know, making its way. All right, hold on, folks. I'm going to... Okay, so CBS Dallas is looking at it. Okay, so as far as impacting our area, let me help you understand here that what we're looking at here is a storm that looks to be moving due east at this time. That is going to take it really the tornadic part of this storm right along the county line. Here where, you know, Hood and Parker County are, right where Johnson and Tarrant counties go. I mean, if it continues due east, it's going to be southern Tarrant County, northern Johnson County, and then northern Ellis, southern Dallas counties. Okay, so that's what we're looking at now. It is really hard to give a, tell you exactly what the trajectory of this thing is going to look like as we get further down. Again, this new tornado warning goes out until 9:15. So it could be 9 o'clock before it's moving towards northern, northwestern Johnson County here. Okay, so that is, what we're dealing with right now. And it's this thing could take a right turn. It could abandon that track and move more northeasterly as it has. It is really tough to tell exactly what this thing is going to do that far ahead of time. And so it's very, very tough to call the farther out you talk, because these things can vary on their trajectory. And so it's really hard to tell you this far out what parts of our area it's going to impact. I'll tell you, I mean, if you're in Lipan right now, if you're in southern, I know that's a lot of rural area, but northern Hood County, southern Parker County, you want to be taking shelter immediately. You want to be taking shelter right now. Because this possible or an observed tornado is headed your direction. That tornado warning is listed as an observed tornado. You can see it right there. Observed tornado with lime-sized hail. I mean, there's large hail with this thing too. That's going to be more on the northern side of the storm. But of course, the tornadic part of the storm is what we are mostly concerned about at this time. So we are definitely keeping an eye on this storm right now. Again, if you need to make sure you have a way to receive reliable, timely warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings, tornado warnings, sign up for Weather Call. You're going to get a call directly from my voice telling you, hey, there is a tornado warning for your particular area. You're going to get that phone call right away. And so that link is in the description there. I will share that again. This is the time. I mean, you see the storm headed your way. If ever there was a time to sign up for Weather Call, it's now. I'm giving you lead time here. I'm giving you plenty of lead time. That's why we're starting to do these, desk streams here before it gets directly into our area. I'm giving you plenty of time to get signed up for Weather Call, to make sure that you have your safe place ready. Again, if we're talking about an area to be concerned about this, let me see. Here's the part of the storm where the tornado is going to go. Now, right this second, it's moving due east, okay? Now, with that said, I want you to understand what I'm saying. I know it's really easy to look at that and just immediately start making assumptions. Now, this storm could easily turn right? I mean, it could take a right turn. It could abandon that and move northeast. It's really hard to tell that far ahead what it's going to do. So a storm like this, a very volatile, sometimes even I would say, uncertain future with a storm like this. So that is why we have to pay very close attention to what it is doing. We have to stay on top of it. You have to follow me as the storm is going. What I'll tell you is that this warning includes Lipan. It includes southern Parker County, northern Hood County. If you're in that warning polygon, you have to be taking shelter immediately. If you're in Crescent, it's not quite time to take shelter, but you need to be watching this very closely. The warning is right next to you in Crescent. So I would say, at very least, be preparing that safe place. But if you're downstream, if you're in Godley, Joshua, Burleson, Mansfield, Benbrook, Kennedale, Forest Hill, if you're in southern Tarrant County, northern Johnson County, this is the time to make sure that your space is ready. If that's a bathroom, a closet, a pantry, a hallway, wherever that first story area is where you can take shelter from the storm, away from windows, away from exterior walls, that is going to be the best possible place to take shelter. That's what you want to have ready at any time. So you want to make sure that you're paying attention to that. I'm hearing that Fox 4 has confirmation of injuries in Gordon. You can see that back behind the storm. So confirmed injuries from that tornado in Gordon. So you want to be paying very close to this. Let's see. I've got for Weather Call, again, it's in the description. And I'll put it in there, put it in that chat again. So I'm seeing a lot of people asking, how likely is it that it's going to weaken? At this time, it's hard to say. Again, it's so far out, folks. I mean, this is a lifetime for a storm like this. And so it's hard to say what it's going to do for Ellis County. I mean, it's just moving into southern Parker, northern Hood counties. We kind of have to take this one at this point, because it's right on the line, a couple of counties at a time. It's hard to say what it's going to do that far ahead. And so this warning in northern Hood, southern Parker counties goes until 9:15. So as we get closer to 9 o'clock, it's going to continue to move eastward. And at that point, it'll be moving closer to Johnson County. We'll kind of get a better idea of what to look at for those areas. But for the moment, it's hard to say too terribly much that we know for sure. Okay, at this point, this is a PDS tornado warning. So a particularly dangerous situation warning by the National Weather Service right now. Now this is particularly dangerous situation. Take cover now. Now they're labeling this as radar indicated. So I'm not seeing that this is confirmed as observed at this time. That may be because they just don't have eyes on it right now, but this is a particularly dangerous situation tornado warning. This is a PDS, a PDS tornado warning that is very, very important to pay very close attention to at this time. You don't get PDS warnings very often at all. This is a severe, dangerous situation that has to be paid well attention to. What I'm going to do, folks, we're going to go ahead and get in front of the green screen. Let's put this thing right into action as this moves into northern Hood, southern Parker counties. This is outside of our core county area, but this is a really bad situation, and I'm not playing around anymore. Let's take a moment, give me a moment to shift gears. We'll be right back with coverage of this tornado warning in northern Hood and southern Parker counties. We'll be right back, folks. Stay with us.
A smile upon your face, and I see something shimmering in your eyes. And they say if you want to glimpse the future, you need space. And you said you'll put down your morning guns. Would you follow me to wander? Take my hand and walk beside me in a world of thunder. Fear is an imposter. When you look at me this way, I find it hard to not give in. The days became weeks, it felt just like the night before. You were slowly fading in my mind. When you left, I was so completely gone, but now I'm sure.
Let's see. All right, everybody, we are back, and we have this absolute unit of a storm right now in northern. We have the warning here, a particularly dangerous situation warning for northern Hood and southern Parker counties. If you know people in that area, go ahead and get them tagged. And I know that this is outside of our usual area, and I need to, oh, not that far. Oh, computers. That's why I don't like AI. So this storm moving eastward here, and of course this is outside of our core area. Our core counties are Ellis, Hill, Johnson, and Navarro counties. However, if you see this particularly dangerous situation tornado warning, it's a mouthful and it's not something you see often. It goes as far east as the county line here, right next to northwestern Johnson County. And when I tell you that, I mean, this thing is until 9:15. So about 9 o'clock is when I'm expecting it to be moving towards the Crescent Godley area. Okay, so 9 o'clock. Now, I know that there's tons of people downstream that are saying, hey, when is it going to hit Burleson? What about Mansfield? What about Midlothian? What about Ferris, Waxahachie, Ennis, all these places farther downstream? It's hard to say, because a storm like this could continue due east. It could take a right turn and dive into Johnson County. It could abandon all of that and go farther northeast into Tarrant County. It's hard to say exactly what that storm is going to do, because sometimes they have the most volatile, kind of unpredictable tracks here. So if you'll give me a moment, I'm going to adjust some things on my end so that I can get the best possible kind of look at this. Okay, so this is our storm, particularly dangerous situation there in Parker and parts of Parker and Hood counties. Right now, the National Weather Service has this as a radar indicated tornado warning. It has been observed. There's been multiple reports of this. We have one TV station, Fox 4 in Dallas, that confirmed injuries in Gordon. So back in Gordon, where this storm passed, there's confirmation that we have injuries from that tornado in that storm. And this warning that goes until 9:15 here is a particularly dangerous situation. I know I keep saying that, but really, in the weather world, that is all hands on deck, red alert. That's about as intense as you can get at this point. And so this is what we're watching. Now, I see Josh, have we not been worked over? And I know you guys are going, when is it going to quit? Well, the good news is we have one more chance of storms tomorrow evening, and even that one is a little unsure. But we are looking at, one more chance of storms, and then after that, I think that we may finally get a break for a while here. And thank you, Suzanne, for your Venmo donation. Greatly appreciated there. I think she said something about a $20 challenge or something. Did I read that right? What was I reading that right? Okay, we'll have to look at that later. But so this storm, number one, I mean, you can see just how intensely wrapped up that is. So let's look at a couple of things here. I can get my mouse to cooperate here. Let's freeze this here. I mean, there is so much rotation in this storm. You can see that all of this is getting wrapped up. And what you're seeing, honestly, what I'm seeing is that this is becoming very likely rain wrapped. That can both help and hurt. That can help because sometimes that's going to choke off that circulation. Likelihood is it's going to recycle, so I don't expect this to suddenly come to an end. But the bad news is it gets harder to see. We've already lost daylight. So, it's going to be tough to see anyway. And at this point, my goodness, we're going to be dealing with this particular storm just getting harder and harder to see. It's going to be tougher to warn all of this. So, you're not seeing a whole lot in Northern Hill County. The good news is that this is mostly rural area, but it's just north of Lipan. And what I've been mentioning is you see how wide this warning is here. The reason for that is, as I said, this thing could bank northeast. It could stay due east as it's doing now, or it could take a right turn and move farther south. We have to wait and see what it's going to do. Now, if we look at the velocity, very clear rotation here. Now, I will say that this is not as intense as what, if you can believe that, as intense as this looks. This is not as intense as it looked just a short time ago. But it's still plenty. You can see this here. I would say at this point, that's about as intense as you can get. And then now it may be broadening a little bit, just ever so slightly, but it's still a very, very dangerous storm. I think that this hook echo, this mesocyclone here, this rotation, could be going through a recycling. We've seen that at least a couple of times already, but it hasn't slowed this thing down. And I just don't think that we're going to see that with this particular storm. Now, our area, let me kind of back this off a little bit. So here's the storm we're watching. Now, Ellis County, we have seen so many of these little showers. It's like, I don't know what's just sitting on top of us here, but just one little shower, little thunder shower after another, where we've just been hearing tons of little thunder and little lightning strikes here. So you may think that we've been worked over well enough. Well, not near enough here. This storm really doesn't have anything to do. It doesn't have anything to slow it down. So this particular storm, southern Parker County, northern Hood County right now, you're seeing that kind of get wrapped up in itself. The question is, will this rotation get choked off? Or will this simply recycle? It could very well recycle. We have seen that already several times where you'll kind of close up that hook echo, but then you get a fresh batch of inflow and it just recycles itself, it just rebuilds. So we'll watch that. We'll continue to keep an eye on it as we go through the next several minutes. But the warning is still there. The warning runs until 9:15. In fact, I need to get this got this little clock because I need just a big, clear, obvious clock right in front of me, and I I kept forgetting to do that. So I want to make sure that I can very clearly see the time. One of the things you got to know about working with me, I want to make things as little effort as possible, as straightforward as possible, because I got to focus on what we're doing here. So the warning goes until 9:15. You can see here Crescent and Godley in Johnson County. You can see Boss there as well. Behind me is Burleson. So we're going to be watching for those areas. Now, as I said, it is very hard to say at this point exactly what direction it's going to go. At this point, it's moving pretty well due east, but it could easily at any moment take a right turn. In fact, it's already taken one right turn because it was moving northeasterly. Now that it's moving due east, we could very well see it take another right turn once this rotation kind of recycles itself. So we'll have to watch that. And but it's just too early to say what's going to happen too far out ahead of this storm. So it's moving very close to western portions of Parker County, moving just north of really right along the county line here between Parker and Hood counties, just moving out of the Lipan area. And we will have to watch this to see what this is going to do. We'll take a look at the velocity here, and it does look like at this point, at this moment, that this rotation is beginning to broaden here, become less organized. So we will have to wait and see if this is going to recycle itself or if it's going to finally get choked off and weaken. I have my money on it recycling itself. I think we're going to see probably you can already kind of see the inflow starting to intrude here again. So I'm pretty sure that we're going to see that make an adjustment there. Brooke, thank you so much for your Venmo donation. Greatly appreciated there. I'm going to try my best to keep up with those tonight, but I can't make any promises there. So we'll see what happens. But this storm, it is moving eastward, and this is going to be, again, southern Parker, northern Hood counties right now. This warning goes until 9:15. In the next 20 minutes, it's going to continue to move closer to parts of Tarrant and Johnson counties. So we will see what happens there. Kaylin, you said there's a confirmed tornado on the ground just outside of Fort Worth. Just outside of Fort Worth is... it's not, how do I, best way to say this, it's several miles away from Fort Worth. So it's not that close to Fort Worth. It may sound that way. Some of these national people that are going, oh, it's just outside of Fort Worth, don't know how big Texas is. So you gotta, kind of take it with a grain of salt. So we're watching this storm. I think we're seeing the rotation recycle itself. So I think this storm is in a recycling pattern right now. It looks weaker at this time, but I am not going to put too much stock in that happening here. Yeah, I think we're going to see a new hook echo form here fairly quickly. And so, Jamie, you're saying there's 3 rotations. There are going to be people that are looking at some of this video or looking at radar saying, oh, there's all this kind of stuff. And I can't tell you what somebody else sees. I'm only going to talk about what I see. And right now, I'm just looking at this broad rotation, but we are looking at what I believe and what I've said is coming, this starting to recycle. So we'll see what happens with this storm as we now have a new hook forming. The old one kind of wrapped up itself, and then it's going to continue to move eastward. Right now, continues to just move eastward. So, Serena, yes, Ennis is it is in a tornado watch. The Weather Channel app is a dumpster fire. Okay, I'm sorry, it just is. Love the guys with the weather company, but if you want to know what's happening in Ellis County, how you doing? My name is Kevin Crouch. I run South Metro Weather. Happy to serve you. So this storm is the one we're watching. PDS, particularly dangerous situation right now. That is the warning, and that's what you name one of these when there is a very, very dangerous situation going on. Particularly dangerous situation. They mean every word of it. And right now it is a radar indicated circulation that they have right now. They do not have confirmation, at least last I saw, they do not have confirmation of a tornado on the ground at this moment. I think we are kind of, as bizarre as it sounds to say, I think we're kind of between circulations here. And I want to make sure again that I mention weather call here, okay? So weather call, as I've been saying, we are giving you plenty of lead time for our core counties here, okay? This storm moving east at 25 to 30 miles per hour, not moving very quickly. The virtue is that gives you plenty of time. If you want to be warned, when you have a warning, when there is a tornado warning or a severe thunderstorm warning issued for your area, and it calls you immediately. I mean, I've had people telling me that they get the phone call before it pops up before they even see the polygon up here. So as soon as the National Weather Service issues that, bam, you get weather call, you are aware, you're able to start your safety plan right then. And it's not going to tell you, hey, there's a warning somewhere in your county. It's going to go, this is your house, it's right where you are, it's reliable, it's straightforward, it's going to be my voice. Trust me, you all have heard me say many times before, I'm not going to put my name or my voice to something that doesn't work. So make sure that you sign up for weather call, and it's $15 a year. That's just over $1 a month. I mean, it's not that much to pay to have that kind of peace of mind. And I mean, it's, people always ask, how can they support the brand? Get on weather call, because if you want to look at how this benefits me, I get a small cut of what you buy. I mean, a small cut of what you pay. And then the biggest benefit to me, if you want to try to say, hey, what's your angle, sir? The biggest benefit to me, frankly, is there's a warning, you get to safety, and then you turn on South Metro weather. So if you want to try to figure out my angle, there it is. But my priority is keeping you safe. That's why I've done this for coming up on 10 years now. We will hit 10 years of this brand. We started as Ellis County Weather, but 10 years of local reliable coverage in October. That's coming up, folks. So we've been doing this long enough to where you can trust me. So just get signed up for weather call to make sure that you are well aware of that going on. That there may be a warning for your area. And if we get a warning here at the studio, we'll demonstrate that on the air. We've done that before, and there's times when I'll say, hey, there's a warning, and it's already going on. I mean, the phone's practically interrupting me at that point. So this is plenty of time to sign up for that. And if you don't get a call, hey, you don't have to worry about it. Best part is, not only is it the same number, so you can save that number in your phone, hey, it's weather call, it's not spam, but it can call you at night. You leave the ringer on, you can go to bed and not have to worry about staying up all night. So it's a great service. And if you have the do not disturb, thing, just set it on your favorites list. It's going to go right through it, right? It's so customizable. So I want to make sure I get to some questions here. Is this going to be anywhere near Flower Mound? So I would say that the rotation in this storm, at least at this point, doesn't look like it. But again, it's far enough away from that area. We have to wait and see what this thing is going to do. These kinds of storms can be unpredictable in their trajectory, which again is why this thing is so wide at the end, because it could go northeast, it could go due east, it could take a dive and go southeast. You just really have to pay attention to these things. So we'll continue to monitor this. Let's take a look back at the velocity view here. And yeah, it's definitely looking a lot less organized than it did. You can see the rotation here. It's a lot less organized than it was. So we will wait and see what's going to happen with this thing. But I don't have a whole lot of hope that this thing is suddenly going to, weaken. I mean, we've seen a new little tail on this. I think we're seeing this storm recycle. I think we could see it get some renewed energy over the next few minutes here as it moves into parts of Tarrant and eventually Hood counties. So don't let this get you too comfortable, folks, because it is showing less organization at this time. That is true. But we've seen this storm and many other storms over the course over the course of my career, for one. But even this storm, we've seen this thing recycle. So right now, the rotation is less organized. The storm itself is not as intense, but we have every possibility in the world that this storm could very well recycle itself. Now let's take a look at the hail core, because that will tell us some things as well. I mean, there you go. That tells you the story, doesn't it? I mean, you can see this thing, the way that the hail core fell apart, and then it's coming right back together. So this is not a storm that's ready to give up the ghost yet. So I think we're going to see new circulation here. You can kind of see it. You can see the old one becoming less organized, but I think we're going to see new circulation farther ahead, where this storm is ingesting new inflow. Okay, so it's going to continue to move eastward. It kind of, in the circulation kind of enveloped itself, it wrapped around itself, it cut itself off. So it's kind of knocked off its kilter a little bit. It's going to come back. I think we will see this storm recycle before it is done for the night. Jennifer, if you're on a second floor of a hotel, where do you go in a tornado warning? You go downstairs, you ask the staff where's the place to go during a tornado warning. They will let you know. First floor, interior room, away from exterior walls and windows. That has shown itself time and time again to be the safest place. I mean, there's some places you see tornadoes go through, and the only thing standing is those internal areas. So that's where you want to be if you get a tornado warning. So I'm going to check a couple more things here. And folks, let's just keep pushing weather call here. This is what I'm doing here. I know that this is not our core county yet. It's not Johnson County yet. And I usually wait until then, but we're starting to give live streams a little bit ahead of time because I want to give you plenty of lead time for this storm. Okay, especially, I mean, this is a particularly dangerous situation. I want to make sure I give you plenty of lead time to say, hey, we need to get our safe place ready. I want to make sure that we are signed up for a weather call, so we'll get that phone call from Kevin if there's a tornado warning issued, or a severe thunderstorm warning even. So the question is, Amanda, if you live in a manufactured home, if you know someone or there is a place nearby that is better structured, that's where you go. Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot of advice I can give you on that, but with this kind of lead time, if you're in a manufactured home, what I tell people all the time, pick a sunny day. And I mean, if there's a neighbor that you trust, go directly to them now, see if you can hang out there and just kind of hang out while the storm is going on. Patty Lynn, you can't figure out how to sign up for weather call. Make sure she gets that link, folks. Make sure that everybody here is, getting that information. We have the new hook here. See, this is what I'm telling you, folks. We're starting to get that recycled hook here. You see that? See how that's coming together? Back on velocity, here we go. Here's that inflow that I was telling you about, right? So we've got a new circulation forming here. This storm is not done, folks. This storm is far from done. This thing is going to be hanging out a while. Yeah, this is where it's coming back together. So if you are in northern Hood County, if you're in northwestern Johnson County, please be getting ready to take shelter now. This warning goes until 9:15. We're getting close to 9 o'clock. So we're getting close to this thing, getting closer to northwestern Johnson County here. So the way this thing is going, if it takes a right turn at all, that's going to put it further into our area. If it moves left, then hey, that'll put it more into the Metroplex. So we just have to pay attention to what we are looking at here. And if I don't get all of your questions answered, they are coming in like wildfire. So I apologize if I don't answer your questions specifically. If you're giving to the Venmo and the Cash App and those kind of things and I don't call your name, please accept my apologies now, because we may not be able to get to all of those tonight. Mail says, I have 20 notifications. I think my email finally went, hey, there's a lot of stuff. We can't keep up with it all. So I appreciate that. So here is the severe thunderstorm warning that's been trimmed back, and then the tornado warning here. The northern, again, this is your rotation here. We've got new circulation that is building on this storm. This is going to be western Johnson County, northwestern Johnson County, and southern Parker County right now, northern Hood County is where we're looking. So this will continue to move eastward. So let's put this back into motion here so you can kind of see where this is going. Come on, do what I told you. There we go. So again, you can see this new, we got the old circulation that has fallen apart, kind of fallen behind the storm here, and the new circulation is coming together now in northern Hood County, southern Parker County. So that's where we are, that's where things are headed right now. It is moving due east at this time. This storm could take, with this new circulation especially, it could take a right turn that could put it farther into Johnson County. That's why we see how wide this tornado warning is. That's the uncertainty of its track. So this tornado warning has about another 20 minutes. This is I believe this is still okay, they've removed the PDS label on this warning, but I won't be surprised if that comes back. The PDS means particularly dangerous situation. So that's what we're seeing, and they have removed that. This is currently a radar indicated circulation because it's recycling at this point. So what we're seeing here, this is a new hook echo. This particular storm has to be taken as seriously as anything in your life because this storm has a history of producing large tornadoes. Fox 4 News in Dallas has already confirmed injuries with this storm in Gordon. So this storm has a history of producing tornadoes that caused damage and caused injuries. So you see this storm moving eastward. So if you're in southwestern Tarrant County, northwestern Johnson County here, you need to get ready for this storm. I expect you will be under a tornado warning later on. You're not yet. The only tornado warning is this polygon. But again, get weather call. I'm going to preach this thing until I'm in the grave, y'all. Weather call. If you get signed up for that service, then you're going to be alerted immediately when that warning is issued. And you're going to know if it includes you, because if that warning doesn't include you, you're not going to get a phone call. But you're going to be included if that actually happens. And hey, it works anywhere in the country as well. So weather call isn't just for this area, works anywhere in the country. So if you've got folks in other parts of the country where storms are going on, they can sign up for weather call as well. So they have that option. And so, that potential is there. So this storm is the one we're watching. If you're just tuning in, we're right around 2,300 people watching the brand. So I appreciate you jumping in. Okay, so there's going to be, the thing is, there's going to be more confusion now, less clarity on whether we're actually looking at a tornado in this storm because it's nighttime. They can't see it, so it's just going to be harder to do. So now here's where we're looking at this storm. This is going to be your rotation that is very quickly intensifying here. I want to show you this. Let's go back in the history. You can see here's one circulation that fell apart, and just like we talked about now, we have this new circulation that is building here. So this storm has a notorious history of producing tornadoes with confirmed injuries in Gordon per Fox 4 in Dallas. Now this storm at this moment, to me, does not look as intimidating, but that doesn't mean much at all. We could still be looking at a very dangerous situation with this particular storm. So we're going to continue to watch this and see what this does. Northern Hood County, southern parts of Parker County, where we have the tornado warning right now. And it's moving kind of due east. Now, I will say in the last couple of frames, it almost looks like maybe it's trying to lift northeastward a little bit. So we will see what that does. This could be, if it continues northeastward, that would put it farther into Tarrant County. But we'll see what this thing does. If it continues to wrap up and the rotation intensifies, then it could take another right turn and turn easterly or southeasterly. So time will tell with that. That's part of why we can't say too much about its future track. I understand there's plenty of folks in northern Johnson County, northern Ellis County that want to know, hey, is this headed to me? It very well could, but it's hard to say. The farther out you go, the less clear the track is going to be. I know there's some people that are putting the track way out here, and I'm not willing to do that because I feel like I'm going to give you uncertain information where we're just not sure what this thing is going to do, and I don't want to tell you, hey, this is what I'm going to put out there. You're going to see the track and freak out if you're included in it, and then it ends up going way north of you, right? We're not going to create that kind of cry wolf situation here. Okay. All right. So lots of signups for Weather Call. Greatly appreciate you guys doing that because that's going to keep you prepared and informed with this brand. So here's our hook echo. Again, this is getting reorganized here, and this storm continuing to move in to now focus on southern Parker County, again northern Hood County. Plenty of room for this storm to continue to intensify. This thing, I mean, it's just we are in a recycling period here. I do think that this storm is going to continue to rear its ugly head. If we take a look at this, I mean, a very clear recycling process here. And again, we're seeing that hail core stay pretty consistent south of Weatherford. So we will see what this thing does. The sun is going down. Now we will see if that will help this storm weaken as it goes eastward. I'm not gonna put money on that, but we'll see what this does. It's just so tough to know exactly what this thing is going to do too far ahead of time. Okay, so just to recap, for all the people that are just joining us in, this is a tornado warning for southern Parker County, northern Hood County that goes until 9:15 for about another 15 minutes or so. If you're in southwestern Tarrant County, northwestern Johnson County, you need to be prepared to take shelter now. This storm, we're getting a kind of a resurgence of rotation here. It kind of died away and got less organized here, but now we're seeing, as those winds are picking up, it is trying to recycle here. We'll see what it does. Seems like it might be having a little trouble getting wrapped up there. So, yeah, we'll have to kind of wait and see what this does in terms of, especially what to tell you folks in Ellis County, because I know you're watching this thing, but it's just hard to see exactly what this thing's going to do. This little chicken wing looking storm, I mean, this thing has been just absolute nothing but business. And again, we had that particularly dangerous situation logo on this warning, or tag on this warning. We don't have that now. That is a good sign, generally. But at this point, we do not have an observed tornado, which is radar indicated for now. But again, that can change as we go forward. So we will see what happens if they issue a new warning. Fort Worth National Weather Service, they may be looking to see if this storm is going to maintain that pattern. It's a little bit unsure at the moment. It's kind of getting into this, what is it going to do? Is it going to intensify? Is it going to wrap up? Is it going to lose that organization? Is it going to struggle? What is it going to do? And it's hard to say. But I'll tell you right now, the way that this thing is looking, it's almost like it's getting ready to get wrapped up again. I can see what looks like a rear flank downdraft as well. So, I mean, it looks to me like this thing is reestablishing its structure. Matt, I don't know if you're seeing the same thing I am, but it looks like this thing is really starting to reestablish that supercell structure as it nears the edge of this tornado warning. Okay, so let me see here. Let me can you continue checking on some messages and things that are coming in. I want to keep watching this velocity here. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be harder to tell, but I will tell you right in here, looks to me like that's some possible rotation. At the moment, it looks like it's fairly broad, but I think we could see very soon. I think we could very well see this thing continue to intensify here. Let's get this back into motion. So this is the storm we're watching here. And even the hail at this point looks to be struggling a little bit. So we may be looking at an improving situation with this storm. I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna put too much stock in that because again, we still have, some winds that are coming out of this storm that could very well continue to, and this thing could continue to intensify as we go forward. Now, I know we had a question about Granbury. The storm is north of Granbury. I'm not really concerned about the Granbury area. I know someone's asking about Benbrook. In Benbrook, I would be prepared to take shelter from this storm because it does look like it's headed that way. This storm looks to be taking a little bit more of a northeasterly track here. So it looks like, again, that it's still in that kind of recycling period here. We'll see if that storm continues to weaken here. It looks like it's struggling to to kind of maintain that organization at the moment. But I just wouldn't put too much into it. We're losing daylight. So when you lose daylight, you lose surface heating. Sometimes that can kind of rob the instability here. Somebody mentioned the cap. It's possible that as we get cooler, as we lose daytime heating, that cap starts to strengthen. Because what you need, that cap is warm air above the ground. What you need, or what causes that cap is warm air above the ground where normally you lose you lose temperature, you lose heat as you ascend. But then you have this layer where you get warmer all of a sudden, and that warm air will prevent these storms from building or intensifying or being surface-based at least. You can get storms on, above that cap. But what happens is that cap will intensify the not differential, but differential I guess works between the ground, and then you have cooler air and then that warm layer. What you need to break it is equilibrium. Okay, when the ground warms up enough to where now you have equilibrium, where you no longer have a warmer, everything's a cooler temperature going forward, and you have the ground warm enough. Basically, that's where you have that's where you have a well-established cap. But something you can see here, if I move this over correctly, what you notice, you see all this interference here? That is a temperature inversion. An inversion, again, warmer as you go up. So that's that cap. So you can see a visual representation of the cap across our area, and that could be what is trying to weaken this storm. Now, I say that, and I mean it's really trying. It's really battling that cap. So we will have to wait and see what this thing is going to do. And it still looks like we've got broad rotation, but it's struggling to hold itself together there. So I discounted the cap earlier, but now that the sun is down and temperatures will presumably soon start to go down, then the cap is going to strengthen because we're going to lose any kind of equilibrium. We're going to have a greater inversion, a greater differential that will create a stronger cap overall. I mean, you can see the northern side of this storm falling apart pretty quickly. And so right now, I would say this storm is going to be more of a threat for southeastern Parker County and southwestern Tarrant County at this time, because it's re-establishing that northeast flow. It's going to start getting caught up in that northeast flow, southwest flow from the southwest to the northeast. That is going to start carrying that storm northeastward. That's how you can tell that rotation is not as strong. It's not driving that storm so much, because when the storm is really driven by that surface rotation, that's going to make that right turn. So this storm could very well be finally weakening. I mean, this thing's been around for a while now, so I don't think anybody's going to complain if this storm finally begins to fall apart. But with that said, again, I mean, this thing is not, this thing is no chump. So we'll see what that does. We look at the velocity here. Wind speeds are coming down. So wind speeds are coming down. We're losing some of that rotation here. And so that should, again, that should help to get this storm less organized. And, you know, we may dodge a bullet here, folks. We may very well dodge a bullet. And not everyone in this area west of us has. So this particular storm, this tornado warning runs out about 5 minutes. They have not issued a new warning at this time, which means I'm pretty sure they're looking at this thing probably continuing that weakening trend that has been established here. So let's see. Just to make sure I'm caught up here, thank you, Susan, Brooke, and Megan for your Venmo donations here. Greatly appreciated there. So this storm is the one we've been watching. And this one is a lot less organized than it was when this whole thing started. So you can see the storm is getting close to northwestern Johnson County, currently moving into southwestern Tarrant County here. And it looks like it's moving into a currently strengthening cap. So again, the cap strengthens when surface temperatures drop, and what creates that cap is an inversion of temperatures. So you have at the surface warm air. As you go up, you start cooling, because that's what naturally happens, but then you have those warmer temperatures. When the ground starts to warm up and creates equilibrium with what's there at the cap, that's how you start eroding that cap, how you start weakening it. But once temperatures start to cool again, the cap stays the same. The cap stays there. It may weaken, it may cool a little bit, but you have a greater differential in the air between the ground and that cap. So that, the higher the differential, the higher the difference, that is going to be a stronger cap. And it looks like this storm is running directly into it. And the cap is doing a pretty impressive job at this point. Now, let me say that. Pretty good job of ripping this thing apart right now. So it looks like that's the situation here. Of course, there's a storm moving into Denton County here. A lot of lightning with that one. Not severe warned, but good grief, is that a loud storm. And the one here, we have that tornado warning that goes until 9:15. I don't think the National Weather Service is going to cancel that early, but I think they will allow that to expire and could go without issuing a new tornado warning here, which would be quite the godsend for that area. Man, oh man. Yeah, we're losing rotation here, so you can see that. I mean, we are really rapidly losing rotation with this storm. So as this storm continues to move east, we are looking at this storm falling apart fast. And what a blessing that is. My goodness. You look at the way we have had confirmed injuries in Gordon. Okay? Confirmed injuries in Gordon from a tornado produced by this storm. So, okay, severe thunderstorm warning now for northern. Hang on a second. It is there. Just give it a second here. The warnings have been acting a little funky here. But here's that severe thunderstorm warning that goes until 10:15. The southern half of Tarrant County and the northern parts of Johnson County. So this storm, part of what we're going to see in northern Johnson County is mostly going to be winds. So strong winds possible in that area. That you also accommodate room for that little area of rotation. Again, very weak, broad rotation at this point. Really has come undone. And then gusty winds possible kind of on the back side of this. So they are marking this tornado possible. Again, this storm has a history of producing damaging tornadoes that did cause injuries and did cause damage. So they're putting tornado possible here. There's still broad rotation. You can't totally count this thing out, but it's not near as intense as it was. So, Matt and I were talking right before we went on air. This storm was not playing around. This was quite a concerning situation that looks to be remedying itself here. So that is what we're watching, is this storm continuing to move east, falling apart, losing that organization. But what I'm going to tell you is that this storm, while it is, I barely even see any rotation at this point. Maybe a little broad, but really nothing at this time. Man, oh man, how that thing fell apart. So now, the other thing is, when you have a storm like this, that the cap is just squishing it, all that energy's got to go somewhere, and that's subsident air. So that means it's moving downward. So when it squashes it, you could get some gusty winds. So if you have some very gusty winds in, again, parts of Johnson and Tarrant counties here down the line, you could even, that could even go into Dallas and Ellis counties here. So if you get a rush of gusty winds, then that's what's left of that energy from this storm. So that's very possible. You could see that. So that's another possible byproduct of this storm itself. So that tornado warning getting ready to be expired here. So that will be a big breath of relief for this area, as this storm went headlong right into, I will tell you the timing for this storm to get here when we were losing daytime heating, and that bolstered the cap that was in this area. I wasn't sure what we were going to see there, but the cap got a nice boost from the sun going down. Now there's another storm way out here near Ballinger that is barely even moving. I would say if you're north of Ballinger and Winters there, I'm more concerned about flooding than anything else. That thing's moving at what? It's let's see, east at 35. It says it's moving at decent speed, but it doesn't look like it's moving barely anything at all. I'll continue to watch this one. I have my doubts that this will do anything to our area, but I'll continue to watch it. And that tornado warning has expired. It is off the board here. No tornado warning currently in northern Hood County, southern Parker County. That warning has been allowed to expire. So everybody's asking about the blue here. It seems like there's an obsession about that. But so here's what we're looking at. Like I talked about, it just looks like, and you can see it's just kind of moving northward. All this is kind of clutter, but what it is the radar going. The beam goes at an angle, but when it hits that cap, it's going to get bounced back down, so it's going to see some of the particulate in the air. This is a visual representation of the cap here, because it's a temperature inversion. The cap is a temperature inversion where when you gain altitude, you lose temperature. When you ascend, the temperature drops. However, there's a layer up there called the mixed layer where the temperature is warmer than the air between it and the surface. When you warm the surface and warm all of the air in between, it creates that equilibrium to where you're no longer cooler in that space. That's how you weaken the cap, because what stops those storms from developing is the fact that, hey, it's cooler, oh, it's warmer all of a sudden. Well, if you warm all of that space up, that eliminates that cap, and there's nothing there to stop those storms. So that's what we're seeing, is a visual representation of that cap here. What you're seeing is the reason this happens at night. And if you watch, it happens at night quite often, because the surface is cooling because the sun's gone down. All that air is cooling, so you are growing that differential in temperature. You're growing that temperature difference. That cap is strengthening. So it's going to have a bigger inversion. That's going to cause that bounce off of the radar, and that's going to be a greater presence there on the radar. So that's what you're looking at for that area. So this is what's left of that storm here, and I would venture to say that this is probably going to continue to move east-northeast, and not much, if anything, expected for Johnson County here. I want to tell you how thrilled I am to see so many people signing up for Weather Call. Weather Call is a great service that I have the privilege of working with. Just $15 a year. You can't beat that. We also have products with Weather Call. We have Weather Call for Business, where you can actually sign up your business and get 5 to 10 people, or however many people, depending on the size of your business. We can work with you to make a package. But it's going to be Weather Call, but for your business, for your staff. So if you have a large plant where you got several people all over the place, and you want everybody on the same page at the same time, that speeds up your safety plan. A lot of people that I've talked to, your safety plan at your company, at your business, is after you get the warning. How long does it take to get the warning? How do you get the warning? Are you waiting for the sirens outside? That's not sustainable. You have to make sure you get the warning immediately. Speed up the warning time, speed up that response time, speed up your safety plan. So if you're interested in Weather Call for Business, send us a message here. Send me an email, kevin@southmetroweather.com. We also have Dan Brunoff likes to call them little pucks, little hockey pucks almost. It's a little box. It's about the size of a wallet. It's about the size of my wallet right here. And that is going to, you put it in your truck, and it's going to ping every 5 minutes. Put it in whatever vehicle. It's going to ping every 5 minutes and tell you, hey, you've entered a warning, or hey, a warning was just issued here. So that's going to allow you to be safe. If you're interested in Weather Call for Business, Weather Call on the go, send an email, kevin@southmetroweather.com, or send a private message to us on Facebook or wherever, and we will love to talk to you about that. Weather Call, we have a number of products that will keep you and your company and your loved ones safe. It's going to save you, it's going to save lives, it's going to save you money. I mean, if your company is safer, you're a truck driver out there, you got to have your logistics team prepared for storms. You want to make sure that you are prepared for that. So if you, Shelly saying your last weather call from Weather Call only said something about press 1. We did see that. I got the same thing. I've reported that to the leadership at Weather Call. We are working on that. So I think that's like the only time that I've seen. But again, send an email to kevin@southmetroweather.com if you're interested in getting your company set up for Weather Call for Business. I mean, just imagine this happens tonight. You've got a plant right here in Lipan. You've got a tornado warning, and you've got multiple plants or whatever, and all those people need to be on the same page, right? You want to have all your supervisors, all your managers, all your safety team at the same time getting that call, so you speed up that safety plan. And then you get Weather Call for Business, or Weather Call on the go rather. You get that little thing in your car so that if you're driving all over the Metroplex, it'll work all over the country. When you get a warning in your area, wherever you're driving, it's going to ping every 5 minutes and say, hey, you need to pay attention. So just making sure that you are aware of those other products that we have. So get in touch with me if you're interested in those. Thank you so much for tuning in, folks. If you did tune in, and boy, we had a wild ride tonight, but we dodged a bullet. And I will continue to watch this storm. Oh, it's behind that logo there. I'll continue to watch this storm out in Winters. This is a fair distance away before it gets here in our area. So I have my doubts that this storm will impact our area, but I know people will be mentioning that, so I'll keep an eye on it. But for now, we're good, okay? Whew, okay. This was, when I tell you folks that the adrenaline going through my body right now is insane. That storm was nothing to play around with. At this point, there's not any storms behind this one. There's one storm south of Abilene that we will keep an eye on, but we'll continue to monitor that. Now, let me remind you, this Weather Call Next Gen that we had the link up for, that you sign up for your phone, you can put 2 phone numbers on that, works anywhere in the country. Your homework tonight, if you know someone in a different part of the country, it's great for elderly couples, elderly folks as well. You got parents, grandparents that they're not as in tune with the weather. It's going to call them. It's going to call their phone. It's going to be as direct as possible. Hey, you got a tornado warning going on. You got a severe thunderstorm warning you need to pay attention to. It works anywhere in the country. I've had several people tell me, hey, I got older, family members in Minnesota, and they've got storms going on. I can sign them up, and it's $15 a year. I mean, that's not that much. So it works anywhere in the country here. Cassie, thank you, Kevin, for the weather call. Your daughter got it in Lipan, and made it to the shelter. So that is that right there, folks. That's why I do what I do. That's why I'm so happy to work with Weather Call, because we can keep people safe with that service. Right there, we saved somebody. We gave somebody the leg up, gave them the warning when they needed it, and this was a slow enough storm. This is a slow enough storm that, everybody had pretty good lead time. So this was an advantage here. And of course, fortunately, this thing fell apart. So I will tell you, northern Johnson County, you're included in this severe thunderstorm warning. But other than some gusty winds possible with some outflow of this storm, the severe weather threat for our area is wrapped up. So we will see what they do with that tornado watch. Presumably that's still in place, but they will probably adjust that now that this storm has alleviated itself. Now, yes, in Denton, loud storm there. Not severe. There's a special weather statement for that, but that's a very loud, heavy storm there, but not severe at this time. The only severe warnings we have right here in northern Johnson, southern Tarrant counties. So for this area, that severe weather threat is quickly deteriorating here. We dodged a bullet here, folks. Dodged it. Well, now that has a severe thunderstorm warning. So if you're in Denton County, Collin County, you got a severe thunderstorm up there, damaging winds, large hail possible with that storm. But with the one we were watching here, this one is just falling apart. Now you notice farther up north, this storm is just not slowing down. But man, this one, it hit a wall here and just could not maintain itself. So again, thank you so very much for tuning in here. We're going to go ahead and wrap this up so that I can sit down and eat something. I wasn't feeling well tonight, I haven't even eaten anything yet. But now that now that things have calmed down, I'm going to sit down and kind of take care of myself for a little bit. More storms are possible tomorrow. I'm about to go talk about this. A few showers and thunderstorms, probably not severe, are possible in the morning, and then in the afternoon. The Storm Prediction Center has been talking about how tomorrow's storm event is a little uncertain. So we're going to have to kind of take a look at that. We'll look at this and see what we're dealing with tomorrow. Hang with us here at South Metro Weather. We will keep you updated if more storms are possible. And then after tomorrow, we should get a cold front, cooler temperatures, lower humidity, at least for a while. So the rest of the week looks nice. If we can just get past one more chance of storms tomorrow, we'll have more for you here at South Metro Weather. Thank you so much for tuning in, and thank the Lord in heaven above that this storm